class. Welcome back to Study Web Academy, where education is without limits. Let's continue focusing on our English class, and we are looking at introduction of speech and these organs of speech. So we've done the introduction of speech, we've talked about what speech is, what speech entails, and right now we are looking at the different organs of speech. So I've talked about lungs, and we're just introducing some of these organs because we're going to be looking at all of them and what they entail. So we've looked at the lungs, we've looked at the trachea, the vocal cords, and we've looked at the oral cavity. And before I continue, I will just again measure on this oral cavity as an organ of speech. So with the oral cavity, I said it includes the other parts of speech. It includes other oral features like the lips, the tongue, the teeth, hard and soft palates. Okay, so when these features, all of them, they play a very significant role in shaping sounds. The movement and positioning of these structures create various sounds. So I talked about, for example, you'll notice your lips. Your lips are very, very essential for saying certain letters like P, B. Okay, you notice that it's just your lip movement. And when you look at another organ like the tongue, you notice that the tongue movement will help you sound words like T, D, L. You notice that your tongue is moving in different directions or different positions. So this positioning of the tongue helps you produce some letters. So all these features that we're talking about, all these organs, we're talking about the lips, the tongue, the teeth, the hard and soft palates or palates. Okay, so all these that we're looking at are what we know as the oral cavity. So the oral cavity includes the lips, includes the tongue, includes the teeth, includes the hard and soft palates. Okay, so all this put together we form what we know as the oral cavity. Let me get rid of my writings. Okay, so that is another speech. Another one, we have the nasal cavity. So the nasal cavity is responsible for the nasal resonance in speech. Sounds that involve airflow through the nose, such as M, N, are produced by directing airflow through the nasal cavity. So you notice that some sounds that you will feel the air pass through your nose. So there's some sounds when said, for example, M, N, you notice the air leave your nose, or air is it involves airflow through the nose. Okay, so generally you find that the nose also is essential for pronouncing some words or producing some words. And I've talked about some letters like M, N. You notice that there's some air passage or airflow in the nose that help us produce these words. Okay, class, so that is the nasal cavity. We have to also know that and understand it. Okay, another one is the phonetics. So the phonetics is a muscular tube that connects the oral and the nasal cavity to the larynx and the esophagus. It plays a role in regulating airflow and directing it to the appropriate cavity, helping produce specific sounds. So with the phonetics is just a muscular tube, and this tube connects the oral and the nasal cavity. So the oral cavity, we talked about the lips, the mouth, the teeth, the hard and soft palate. So these are the oral cavities, while the nasal cavity, we talked about the nose. Okay, so there's a tube that connects these two to the larynx and the esophagus. So this phonetics plays a very, very important role in regulating the airflow and directing it to the appropriate cavity. So the phonetics is the one that is in charge of, like, it's like the soldier that tells the air where to go. So if you want to say specific sounds or specific words, the phonetics will direct the airflow to the appropriate cavity. So if you're talking about words like P, B, L, this phonetics will direct the air to the oral cavity, right? Because you're talking about the P, B, L. So the phonetics will direct the airflow to the oral cavity. When we talk about sounds like M, N, the phonetics will direct the airflow to the nasal cavity. So the phonics is very, very important in directing the airflow and directing where the air is supposed to go. So do not forget about that. Do not forget about the phonics. It's very, very important. Another one is the articulators. I talked about the meaning of articulate. So articulate is just to speak out or to talk or to say out specific words. So that is, to articulate words is to speak words. So articulators are movable speech organs that shape and manipulate the airflow to create speech sounds. The primary articulators include the tongue, lips, teeth, and hard and soft palate. So articulators, again, just like the oral cavity, but here articulators are the movable speech organs, the speech that the organs that move. So if you compare for example, the tongue, when you talk about letters like L, you notice that your tongue moves. When you say words like R, you notice there's some movement in your tongue, okay? So there, the tongue becomes an articulator. With the lips, when you say words like P, B, you notice your lips move. Your lips move either together, or there's some sound that is formed when your lips move together. So you notice that the lips becomes an articulatory organ because it's a movable speech organ. When you look at your teeth too, when you say words like words like R, you notice that there's some teeth movement. So the teeth movement, the lip movement, when even you say words like there's some tongue movement that is close to your teeth movement that helps you articulate these words properly. So class, don't forget that articulatory or articulators, as a part of organs of speech, the articulators are the movable speech organs that shape and manipulate airflow to create specific sounds or speech sounds. And I've talked about the primary articulators. They include the tongue, the lips, the teeth, and the hard and soft palates, okay? Do not forget that. So class, do not forget that it's very, very easy to understand these speech articulators, or the articulators, as an organ of the speech. So here I will give you examples of how these speech organs work. So before I even continue showing you the pictures of these speech articulators, I'm still introducing you to different organs or different speech organs that will help us articulate words or speak or enable us present our speech, okay? So one example is the lip articulation. When you say words like pencil, your lips come together to produce the initial P sound. This is an example of how the lips serve as articulators in speech. So I talked about speech articulators or articulators being the movable speech organs, and one example was the teeth, another one was the lips, another one was the soft and hard palates, okay, and other examples of articulators. So when talk about speech articulators, I'm giving an example here of the word pencil. When you say the word pencil, even just from saying the word pencil, the first sound, the first letter P, the P sound, you notice that your lips move together. Your lips serve as articulators speech because they come together to produce this initial sound P, okay, to form the word pencil. So that is one example of the lip articulation. The next example that I will look at is the tongue articulation. So with the tongue articulation, it is essential in producing the sound, the sound, or the sound, the sound. So it depends with the word you're saying. If you're saying though, the th becomes th. If you're saying the, it becomes th. Okay, so the tongue is essential for producing such sounds like think, though, thought. So the tongue is essential for producing such words. It moves between the upper and the lower teeth to create this sound. So you notice some sounds like the sound, or words like think, the. Notice that the tongue plays a very, very important role in articulating this sound. So the tongue will move in between the upper and the lower lip to create this sound. So an example of the use of articulators is the lip articulation. I've looked at that. We have the tongue articulation, and I've also given an example of some words that involve the tongue articulation. Okay. Another example is the nasal resonance. Okay. So the sound M or the sound M. So M is the letter. When you even go back to our lower classes and read about the sounds and the letters, you will notice how to pronounce these sounds. So with the sound M in the word mango is an example of a nasal resonance. So the air is directed through the nasal passage, creating this sound. So the nasal passage is your nose, okay? So when you say the word mango, you feel some air pass through your nasal passages to produce this sound. So that is another example of the nasal resonance. So the word mango, when you look at the initial sound in the word mango, the letter M, the sound so you notice that there's some air that is directed through the nasal passage that creates this sound and helps you speak out the word mango. Okay. The next one is the vocal cord vibration. So with the vocal cord vibration, the difference in the pitch between a deep voice and a high-pitched voice is due to the variations in the vocal cord tension and the vibration. So like I said, you find that some people who are naturally very, very loud, this is because of their vocal cords. So they have a high-pitched voice, okay? So it will make them have a very loud sound, so they will be always loud. But then these people talk very deep, their voice is deep, or they talk very low. It's because they have a deep voice, okay? So this is due to the variation in their vocal cord. So this variation or this tension and vibration causes them to have this either a low pitch sound or a high pitch sound. So when you say the word hello in a low voice and then in a high pitched voice, you are altering the vibration of your vocal cord. For example, say hello, hello, hello. You notice there's a difference between my vocal cords. So vocal cords help us shape the meaning of the words we are talking about or how we want to pass an information. So for example, you're sad in the morning and someone is saying hello to you. You will say something like hello, very low, okay? And if you're very happy and the day is a jovial day for you, you will be loud and say words like hello. So you notice there's some change in your variation, or you're altering your variation. You're altering your vibration, and you're also vibrating. There's the vibration of your vocal cords. So when you alter the vibration of the vocal cords, you're able to produce such high-pitched voice or low-pitched voice. So when you're moody or when you're sad, these vocal variations or vocal cord vibrations help us tell our emotions. So someone can know whether we are happy or sad, okay? So the organs of speech work together to produce the wide range of sounds required for spoken languages. These organs, in conjunction with the control of the flow of air and the coordination of muscle movements, allow humans to express thoughts and communication effectively through speech. So these organs of speech, they're the ones that help us express ourselves. So for example, you're happy or you're sad. These organs are used, or they work together to produce a wide range of sounds. There are a variety of sounds. So these sounds are produced when these organs work together to help us produce sounds. So these organs, with the control of the airflow and the coordination of the muscle movements, they allow us to express our thoughts, communicate, send information, and give our speeches to people to listen to, okay? So do not forget about that. It's very important for us to remember that the organs of the speech are very essential in letting us talk. And one more thing before I move on that I'd like to touch on is the vocal cord vibration. So one importance of the vocal cord vibration is in poems. You notice that poets will make use of this vocal cord vibration because they want to be felt. They want to show the emotion of the poem. If it's a sad poem or a very happy poem, they will use their vocal cord vibrations to alter the vibration of their vocal cords so that they can bring out the idea or bring out the information they are really trying to pass across or speak out to the audience who are listening to them.